Hi guys, I'm Cypress, and today we're going to be talking about corporate social responsibility and its role in Ulta Beauty. Disclaimer: Ulta is not a small business, but they do display a great corporate social responsibility plan. So let's just get into it. So let's talk about what corporate social responsibility is itself. Corporate social responsibility is a management and self-regulation concept that kind of gives back to the community. It thinks more outside the box, and it doesn't just think about business profits and money. It takes everything into account. For instance, it's going to take the environment into account, society, the community, charitable natures, just anything that can kind of result in positive outcomes, which is awesome. Ulta Beauty is a business that it's very large and very versatile, and it ranges in a lot of things, not just makeup, but skincare products, healthcare products, even nails, just anything that's for your health, your beauty, just cosmetics. They also range in high-end products, so you can find your nice designer products there, and you can find your affordable drugstore products there, which is awesome. And they are known for having champion diversity, which I think is super significant because being a Black woman in America growing up, when I first started getting into makeup, I would go into, typical drugstores or just any stores. And a lot of the times they wouldn't have the shade for me. They wouldn't have the color for me or anything that's for my physical appearance. For instance, they would have 10 to 15 shades from fair skin to tan skin. When it got down to the deeper tones, my color wasn't usually offered. It would just be maybe like 2 shades, and the range of them was just very significant. So typically I would have to kind of improvise, buy both shades, mix them together, kind of like, just improvise. So that kind of was frustrating. So knowing that there's somewhere I can go where I feel welcomed and I know that I have exactly what I'm looking for there is awesome. So let's talk about the employees and what Ulta does for them. So there is a ton of benefits. They offer pretty much insurance all the way around. The 401k plan, 82% of the associates have reported and said that it is a very versatile environment, and you learn a lot, which is awesome. That's awesome to know because, again, with going in there to, stores and not being able to have my shade, et cetera, the same thing kind of comes into play whenever you go into a makeup store and you look for somebody to advise you. And there's nothing wrong with, getting advised by somebody who's not your skin tone, but you kind of want that because they can kind of relate, they can point you in the right direction, because people without your shade, they're not really going to know. You know what I'm saying? So it's awesome to be able to walk in somebody and be like, hey, she kind of looks like me. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. Tuition reimbursement, amazing. We're students ourselves, so obviously that's a great factor for us. Pet insurance, paid time off, sick days, personal days, vacation days. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's see. For the customers, back to the champion diversity, they offer everything, not just with physical appearance, but they even do things for the LGBT community. Like they open certain lines and stuff that kind of represent them and just embrace that, which is awesome. They're committed to representing Black-owned brands, which is amazing. And they're introducing new quarterly training that focuses on the consistency of not having biased service. Not, just being aware that everybody is equal and that everybody deserves the same treatment, which is awesome. I know it kind of sucks to feel like that we need to have that type of training, but I think it's super important these days, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think it needs to be addressed and acknowledged, and shout out to Ulta for doing that. They're committed to accountability, and they do take healthy safety measures and precautions, especially due to COVID. Supplier standards. Ulta is the nation's largest beauty retailer, offering prestige mass and salon programs. All vendors who do business with Ulta must sign a legally binding vendor purchase agreement, including approval of all terms and conditions. And Ulta manufacturers are required to sign a manufacturing formula agreement. Non-compliance will result in consequences, so they are super serious about that. And let's see, protecting the environment. So they have a program where they make sure that they try to keep as much as possible, as much clean as possible. They actually do volunteer work. They have some associates who will actually, pick up trash and do things like that, which is amazing because, of course, we want to keep our environment clean. They also have some products that are recyclable, and they just try to stay away from things that don't really, pair well with, as far as like throwing it away and stuff. So plastic products and things like that, they try to recycle over and over again, which is awesome. So the community engagement and their impact. So they actually have a charity that they give to, one of multiple actually, but I chose three to talk about: the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. I think that's awesome because as women, power to us, and I think that's amazing that they chose them. But they have been with them since 2009 donating, and that's just amazing. So their impact is they've raised $37 million since 2009 and $5.5 million supporting 110,000 research hours. Amazing, right? So they also chose to Save the Children Foundation because kids are in the future, and I mean, I just love kids, and they've been with them since 2016. And they have raised 2.3 million since then, and 1.2 million was raised in 2 weeks. That helped over 750,000 kids. That's amazing. Who knew that cosmetics could do so much work for us? Like, that's awesome. And then the Dress for Success, they've been with them since 2017. And they have raised $500,000 since then, and 22,000 women have been impacted positively by this, which is amazing. So basically, in conclusion of all this, CSR is super important. When you open up a business or a company, obviously the goal is to be successful. You want to be big, maybe even branch out, but you have to think more than just money. You have to think more outside the box. You have to think about what is going to impact all of us, and in the long run, what's going to be more beneficial to us. So that's all we need to take into account of, the environment, society's needs, your employer's needs, and even the employees' needs. So all of these are important, and that's why CSR is very beneficial to communications or any business. So hopefully in the future, every business has a CSR plan, because all in all, it'll help us in the end. Thank you guys.